Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Nothing's Off the Table. I'm your host, Hollywood, and I appreciate you guys for coming back to my channel. I thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing to my first episode. It was very great. It was amazing. It's amazing being on this platform. It's amazing having this outlet to, express myself and to talk about things that I'm looking to help somebody or help many people with, and talk about the things that I want to talk about and the things that I think we should be talking about. I just want to thank y'all for that and thank y'all for the love. I truly felt it. It was amazing. I can't describe it. It's immeasurable. The way I felt last week and it being my birthday and just releasing everybody. So I thank y'all for the love. Thank my family because they made the big thing. They do me a surprise Zoom watch party. It was just amazing. It was dope. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to thank you. If I haven't thanked you, thank you. I appreciate it. With that being said, let's get back to what we do. Let's get back to love, everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is a love channel. You know what I'm saying? We just spreading love and spreading thoughts and spreading knowledge. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole spreading channel. So let's get back into it. So this week's episode is about how to be optimistic after heartbreak. How do you do it? So I'm gonna give you some tips that, from my mind to your mind, so that can maybe possibly help you get over it or help somebody else. You can spread the word, help somebody else get over it. I'm gonna give you my disclaimer. I'm getting tongue-tied. So my disclaimer is every week I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a sociology major, I'm not the love doctor, or any of that. I'm just a person that's been through some things and has some knowledge to give, and I just want to try to impact somebody. Most of the things that we talk about on this channel, I've been through personally. I maybe talked to somebody else and guided somebody else personally, to help them try to impact their life, in some type of way. I'm not a person that likes to see people going through. So immediately when I see somebody going through, I run to try to help, and that's me. Anybody who knows me know I'm like that. So let's get into it. So the first step I guess you want to do to try to be optimistic after heartbreak is you want to hold yourself accountable. No, that's not saying that you did any wrongdoing if you were the one that the wrong was done to, but you still have to hold yourself accountable. If you hold yourself accountable, even if it's something you think is small, if you think it's small and you think it's something you did wrong, yeah, you need to hold yourself accountable about it. Because if you don't, it's going to give you the idea that you're perfect. And none of us are perfect, right? None of our relationships are perfect. Nobody that we ever dated was perfect. You know what I'm saying? They may do a lot of things that you love. We may feel like we're loving people. We may feel like, we're people that shouldn't go through or whatever the case may be, or wrong shouldn't have been done to. But 9 times out of 10, if you look back at your relationship, I guarantee you can pinpoint at least one thing that you may have done wrong or that you could have done better. Once you admit that, that's as actually holding yourself accountable, because you're saying that, oh, there's room for improvement. There's room for improvement with anything you do. Anything. I'm pretty sure there's something at work that you could have done better, right? To improve your numbers. I'm in sales. So anytime my numbers don't add up, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, there's something I could have done better, and you take that into with you. And I've had many sales jobs, and I guarantee if my numbers don't add up, there's something I could have done better. So it's the same thing in relationships. There's something that you could have done better. Me, honestly, I'll give you an example. I truly feel that any relationship that I've ever been in, I could have made it work. Because I always feel like there's some things I could have did in my relationships that made it better, or to, help alleviate certain issues that we had. But sometimes at that moment, you're not thinking like that. You're in your feelings. A lot of the times, you're emotionally, you're just not connected to what you're emotionally, you're connected to what you prefer. And that's fine, because that happens in relationships. Again, we're not perfect. But what you want to do is hold yourself accountable, for even the small things. Even if it's the smallest thing that you can think of. Hold yourself accountable, because that will open up the door for optimism. It does, because you're holding yourself accountable. You're cleaning out your closet, and you're getting rid of certain things. So that way, You can be optimistic about the situation, and you can be optimistic about letting somebody in. You know what I mean? Because you dealt with what you had to deal with. Now, what you can do is you want to be optimistic and hope that the person that you wind up with does the same thing and they deal with what they have to deal with. Accountability is going to be a big thing this episode. I'm probably going to use that word a couple of times, numerous times. So, you definitely want to do it. Sorry, yo, just looking at my notes. I wasn't doing that last week, you know what I mean? Because I had them here, but, it's on the fly. I came with this on the fly because somebody suggested it, and, one of my homegirls was going through, so she hit me up, she told me about it. So, got the inspiration, wrote about it. So, also, my second point I want to make, if you cheated, and this is very, very important. If you cheated, if you were the one, let's say, for instance, your relationship ended based on infidelity, it's very important. If you're not going to admit it to your partner, or in this case, your ex-partner, depending on how it goes, at least admit it to yourself, and at least admit it to somebody that you consider a safe builder. I talked about safe builders in my previous episode, so it's but it's not because last episode was very deep. So, but I want to preference it. Safe builders is pretty much is great for every part of your life, because these are people that you trust, and it's not necessarily somebody that you do your dirt with or you sneaky with, but it's somebody that you can trust that's going to hold you accountable and that's going to tell it like it is. I have all my homeboys are like that, and all my homegirls are like that. They tell it like it is. They hold me accountable. Chris, that's messed up what you did. So that's what you want. You need people around you that's going to hold you accountable. So what I'm saying is, if you cheated, you know what I'm saying, and your relationship is either on the rocks or your relationship ended because of infidelity, then you at least hold yourself accountable and don't lie to yourself. Because if you lie to yourself, you're going to continue to lie to yourself. And if you don't tell your homeboys or your homegirls and vice versa, you know what I mean, you're going to enable yourself to keep lying to yourself. Admit it. Be done with it. Get that hurt away. Deal with the pain, and then let it go. Don't lie to your friends. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hold secrets and try to hold a secret from yourself, because deep down in your mind, in your heart, it's just like, you know what I mean, if you commit a sin, if you go to the spiritual realm, if you commit a sin, at least admit it to God. If you admit it to God, you know what I'm saying, the truth shall set you free. Even with yourself. Don't hold yourself to a lie, because what you're doing is you're caging yourself and you're not letting yourself out. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have to keep that lie going, even if it's with yourself, and that's the worst thing you want to do. So if you cheated, let it go, admit it to yourself, admit it to your homeboys, so that they can help you and hold you accountable, or your homegirls in this sense, you know what I mean? So that's what you want to do. Accountability, I told y'all it's going to be a big subject for this episode, a big word, The third thing you want to do is let it go. You can't let go, then you don't want to be in another situation. You can't go into a situation without letting go. You have to let go in order for you to open up to somebody else. You should know that. Everybody knows that. You don't want to start another job until you finish the other job that you started. You know what I mean? So what not letting go does, it creates a whole lot of toxic behavior. You start judging people before they should even be judged. You know what I'm saying? You start judging people, you start overthinking things. You start casting, pain upon other people because you didn't take care of your pain, right? And you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. And when you're trying to date or you're trying to get to know somebody else, because what you're going to do is you're going to run them right away. Like, I gave you examples. Like, you know what I mean? In the past couple of years, I've talked to women who've had issues with infidelity situations, rather, with, men that they've talked to previously. And it's caused me to be put into situations where maybe I have to cut it short because you get to a point where, you know, you're patient. You know, you when you're trying to date somebody and you're trying to date a woman, in my case, you try to be patient for a little bit. You try to be understanding. But, you know what I'm saying, when you get to a certain point, when the pattern of women unfortunately, you're starting to date and they all have the same patterns, what happens is you start to have less patience for it. And then the other person, and then you being the person that's, you know, casting this toxicity, you don't know that it's a pattern. You just think it's normal. Like, you know what I mean? Because you haven't let go and you don't want to let go. And then sometimes you get locked into wanting to be that person, into thinking that is correct. So what you have to do is you have to openly let go. And if you don't let go, it's just you're gonna keep continuing with the same pattern. How do you let go? You let go, but which is gonna bring me to my next point, by forgiveness, right? You have to let you have to forgive in order to move on. You forgive, you know, one of the hardest, I'll give you an example. One of the hardest things I ever had to do, like my biggest heartbreak ever, was for me to forgive that person. Even if, you know what I'm saying, like, even if you don't say it, forgive that person here. Forgive that person in your heart. Because if you forget that person, you're setting yourself free, you're moving on, you're washing your hands of it, you know. Because if you don't, you're just gonna keep being angry about it. You're gonna think about the things that happened. You're gonna think about that thing that ended your relationship and why that happened. If they cheated on you, you're gonna keep thinking about them cheating on you. You're gonna keep thinking about, oh, is she with another person? This, that, and the third. Same thing, vice versa. So what you wanna do is let it go. Let that shit go. You know what I mean? Move it out. Move it out so you can move new blessings in. I'm gonna keep saying that in all my episodes, that somewhere way or another. Move it out so new blessings could come in. Release yourself. You know what I'm saying? Release and let go. If you don't, you know, it's just gonna consume you, and you're just gonna keep bringing the same toxicity into other relationships. Like, you know what I mean? And it could trickle down. Like, it's always a trickle effect to when you don't let go. It's always a trickle effect. It can trickle down into your relationship with your kid, because you can't let go, and because you're so angry about that, it can make the relationship between you and your kid deteriorate. You know what I mean? If you have a family member, you know what I mean, a brother, a sister, an aunt, your mom, your dad, it can deteriorate. It can bring those relationships to a hard situation. You know, it can put you in the bad spot in those relationships. So that's why it's cool to let go. And then on top of that, mentally, if you don't let go, it's going to consume you. It's just going to hurt more and more. And then the pain is going to build up. And then you're not going to be in the position, you know, to love again. You know what I'm saying? Or even love the people around you that are supporting you and that are trying to strengthen you. So it kind of pushes people away. So that's why you want to let go. Let go so that you can strengthen yourself and so that you can move on. My last point, y'all, is forgive and forget. This is a very important thing, because a lot of times we always say, oh, we forgive, but we don't forget. Forgive and forget, because you know why? You already know the triggers. You already been through these situations time and time and time and time again. Forgive and forget. I'm telling you that, because if you don't, all you're gonna do is set yourself up for failure. You already know the triggers. Here's the thing, and I feel as though I'm grateful for every bad relationship I've had. I'm grateful for every relationship I've had, but I'm especially grateful for every bad relationship I had, because you know what bad relationships do? They help you get stronger. They give you more experience. They help you look out for certain things that you don't want to deal with, red flags, triggers, whatever you want to call them. They help you do that. So that's the reason why you want to forgive and you want to forget, because at the end of the day, you're going to be triggered regardless. So if somebody does something to you, or somebody does something similar to you that hurt you before with another person, you're going to know how it feels. You're going to remember that feeling. So, you know what I mean? So you're truly not going to forget. But at the end of the day, you want to put yourself into a situation where you you mentally say, I'm forgetting about it because you don't want to hold on to it. You know, if something happens, it's naturally going to trigger you. That's why we have a brain. That's why we have memory. So if something triggers your mind to remember something that happened. But what you will do is, in this term, because you're actively trying to forgive and you're actively trying to forget, you're just going to let it be what it is, and you're going to be able to handle it accordingly. Handle it at that time. Don't assume that somebody's going to do something. Give them the opportunity to prove you right or prove you wrong. Give them the opportunity. That's a part of being optimistic, because you don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, we don't know what's going to, just like, I'm pretty sure 2020 started last year. We had a whole bunch of, things that we had planned, or whatever case may be. The year didn't end up like how, we planned it out to be. But with 2021 coming, because we've been through 2020, it made us stronger. It made our minds stronger. So now we can act accordingly with something new. It's a new year. We're acting different. God willing, when this is all over, we'll be back in the better place. But if something else was to come along, we'll be stronger because, of what we've been through in 2020. So that's why you want to forgive and you want to forget. Actively try. There's certain things you're just not going to forget, but you want to actively try because you want to put those things away. You want to put those things to bed, so that way, you can open yourself up for bigger and better things. It's a great thing to open yourself up for bigger and better things. Like I said in the previous step, forgiveness is a hard thing, especially forgiving somebody who did you wrong and that caused you so much hurt and so much pain. I've been there, but you have to do it in order to get over. So forgive and forget. You're not opening yourself up for new wounds or anything like that. What you're doing is you're opening yourself up, your mind, and to be of sound mind. So that way, let's say, for instance, somebody does do you wrong and they do something similar to what somebody else did, you can move on from it. You can act on it and then move on from it. Acting, whatever you want to do. If you want to kick him to the curb, kick him to the curb. If you want to, show some optimism and, try to work it out because you think they're worth it, then do that, And that's going to be our show for today. So those are all the steps that you want to take, when you're trying to get over heartbreak and you want to be optimistic about dating again or getting into another relationship or even marriage at some point, So first step is that you want to hold yourself accountable. Second step is, if you cheated, be honest with yourself. Even if you didn't cheat, but you played the part in the breakup. Be honest with yourself. Release in order to move on. The third step is to basically let go. You want to let go in order for you to move on. It's that simple. You want to let go in order for you to move on. Fourth step is forgive and forget, y'all. Be easy. Forgive and forget. If you forgive and you forget, you're going to find the triggers anyway if somebody does something wrong to you, because you've been through it. You had the experience already. So you know how to move accordingly and act on it. Also, it gives give the person the opportunity to either prove you wrong or prove you right. Either way, it's going to be what it's going to be. Allow people to be who they are. And that's it for this show, y'all. If you feel like it moved you, if there's some points that you felt you didn't understand and you want to hit me, you can definitely hit me on my Instagram in the messenger, slide in my DM. Not like that, but it don't go down in my DM. Maybe it's like not, but definitely, if you're feeling some type of way, you feel some type of way about certain things I say, you don't disagree, I'm definitely here for the feedback. Holla at me. My DM, my Instagram is YFG Hollywood. Once again, that's Y as in Yankee, F as in Frank, G as in girl. Hollywood, my name. YFG Hollywood on Instagram. My email is nothingsofthetable, no apostrophe, all one word, nothing's off the table, 326@gmail.com. You can hit me up there, or you can even hit me up in my comments. My comments wasn't on last week, but they'll definitely be on this week. So definitely, if you want to leave some feedback, you want to holler at me, definitely. I want y'all to like and subscribe and send this to 10 people, 10 different people. You sent it to 10 people last week, send it to 10 more people, 10 different people. Send it to 10 people. I need this channel to be out there and to be put out there. In order for me to get better, I need all the feedback. I need new feedback. So please help me. I love you guys. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Nothing's Off the Table. We out.